What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Season Gaming Bitcast, episode 303. We are back from Mr. Ty Guy's wedding, and we are ready to get back to talking about some games. It's a fantastic Sunday here, and we've got quite a few games to talk about. We may have a guest as well swinging by shortly to touch on a new thing that got announced this past week. But it's good to be back, boys. Mr. Ty Guy Travis, now a married man. How's your life changed? I'm sure it's drastically different since Tuesday.
I mean, there sure have been less video games on my marriage week, so I guess that's a pretty big change. Other changes? Not really. I'm hanging out, man. I have to wear this thing now.
Yeah, you have to wear that now.
That's a change. Other than that, though, it's it's kind of the same. Hanging out.
Yeah.
It'll only be required for so long, Travis. And if you have a stroke, they don't really make you put anything on your left hand.
Oh, that's nice. That's all I got to do, huh?
There you go. Just to have a stroke. Yeah, it's. I
don't recommend it.
Mr. Hogue, hanging out, playing games, virtual legality in the house. How we doing?
I'm good. I'm excited about talking about some video games today. So hopefully everybody here on screen and in the chat is excited about talking about games with us as well. Otherwise, you're in the wrong place, and YouTube has a lot of other content for you.
Yeah, but I'd stay here anyway. I mean,
okay,
just keep us in the background. Yeah,
for our political economics discussion in the second hour.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Get excited.
Yeah. We'll be talking about early access, like paid early access. I mean that applies. Come on. Yeah, good morning, everyone. So we are going to be talking about this week, actually not a ton of kind of big gaming news. So we wanted to talk about all the games that are coming here in the next couple of weeks. It is a ridiculous end of August and early September stretch of game releases. So with some of those embargoes up this upcoming week, we want to talk about kind of what you can expect from those games, give you all the details. There's a lot of previews out there for these games. So we'll be talking about Concord, Myth Wukong, Star Wars Outlaws, Visions of Mana, Astro Bot, and Space Marine 2. All the various details to know about those different. It's kind of a mess in nowadays with how many different versions there are of each game, how much they cost, when they're launching. So we'll go through all that stuff. Also touch on some of the stuff about Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies mode that was shown this week. The Borderlands movie is out and getting just rave reviews as expected.
I told you that one was set up for a fail.
I'm not ashamed to have been optimistic until the bitter end.
Never apologize for your optimism, but it was unwarranted.
Yeah,
it was certainly. Yeah.
And we're gonna have John swinging by, actually probably pretty early in the show. John from Xbox Era to talk about Console Wars, the card game that he and Xbox Era have launched a Kickstarter from. It was something that I couldn't talk about previously in detail. But we did play it back in June when we were there for Summer Game Fest, an early version of it. It's now been kickstarted, and he's going to jump on just to talk about that a little bit here shortly. So before we get to that, let's, of course, get to the early super chat, and I will give you some brief commentary on Travis's wedding. The review is in progress, by the way. It's still to come.
So this is a preview of the wedding. Good to hear.
Well, if it's not done yet, can you give us a score range?
It's going to be high. It's going to be high.
Okay.
Yeah, to their credit. Yeah, it's a beautiful wedding, a nice location. A little windy, a little windy. You should have done something about the wind, I think, honestly. If you could have taken care of that.
The weather, I don't think.
Well, he needs to work harder.
We can go into that.
But a string quartet playing Halo and Elder Scrolls and other games music was nice, of course, and the venue for the reception was awesome and really well organized. They did a really good job, so credit to Travis and Dee. It was a really good time. It really was. So, and I got to see Travis dance, which is something that I don't think any one of our viewers would have guessed.
The rest of us got Australian breakdancing. Ains, you got Travis dancing.
That's right.
On par with one another, if I'm honest.
Right. Yeah. For sure. I think that's a compliment. I don't know. I feel like they do it professionally. So
Travis really has been offline for a little while.
No, I know that's the one where they were like laying on the floor, right? I saw the videos. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
so some of the commentary about that.
look,
been,
bad in the Olympics, but if you were at just a regular party and somebody was doing that, you'd probably be like, I mean, that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? But just different levels, it's different levels. Not impressive at the Olympics, impressive at your friend Kyle's, house party.
Fair. But yeah, stay tuned for the full review this week. We'll have it up. We'll have it live. We'll have some pictures.
I'm very
to share.
excited
It'll be good.
for that.
It'll be good. I'll share the full scorecard next week with some commentary.
It'd be the best traffic on the channel, and we won't know what to do with that information.
Yeah, I'll just start reviewing weddings for a living. Just show up at people's weddings and review them, Yeah. All right, let's sketch up. So Googleman kicks us off here. Travis.
Oh, I'm that guy now. I forgot. What's up, guys? Googleman81 offers 10 euros to say on the fence of whether to main bulwark or assault in Space Marine 2. Any tips?
Okay.
Dark Matter on Apple TV Plus is an interesting and irritating watch.
Also true. Yeah. So on the first point, honestly, not sure. So we're going to talk a lot about Space Marine 2 here in a little bit. Obviously, our cover kind of game for this week. At a high level, we'll come back to this, Googleman, but a bulwark or assault is going to be tough. Obviously, depends on your play style. There's 6 classes from what I understand in PvP and co-op, so we'll get into it a little bit. Have you guys watched Dark Matter? We finished that.
I watched the I don't know if it's original, but the earlier Dark Matter that was like in Canadian warehouses on CW. But I have not watched the Apple TV version.
I don't know if that's related at all. I don't even know what you're talking about. Okay. All right.
Great. Cool.
This Dark Matters on Apple TV. It is based on a book. And it's basically where this brilliant scientist is looking for a way to go to different parallel universes.
They always are.
Yeah. And he basically cracks it, right? Goes to parallel universes, and essentially what happens is, I don't want to spoil anything, but like him and other people going into these parallel universes is like, they travel to all sorts of different places, good, bad, and different. And it ties to like him and his family and what happens with all these parallel people.
So it's an Apple TV prestige version of Sliders with the inimitable Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell. I remember Sliders, yes.
This is before Pictionary, there was Sliders.
This is based on a book. I have no idea how well it is a translation of the book. There is no info right now on a season 2 because in my opinion, it kind of wraps up at the end. I don't know why you would need a season 2 to this, but people are asking for a season 2, so who knows? I don't know. But it's okay. I liked it. It wasn't amazing, but I liked it.
I wouldn't count on much of anything from Apple TV after their pullback on expenses. So,
yeah, it's a shame too, because I like Apple TV generally, but
I do too. I think they're pretty close to a seal of quality right now. They're my favorite of the streaming services. Alas, Netflix slop still makes more money. So what do you do if you're Apple?
Yeah,
make slop.
Well, I mean, that's an option, right? But we don't need to spend $20 billion on slop.
Could buy a lot of slop with $20 billion.
Yeah, I mean, it's Apple. I mean, what's $20 billion?
It's true.
Whatever, it's fine.
It's just them. That's just them clearing their throat financially.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy.
Googleman, thank you as always. Got a member comment from Mr. Rick Davis.
Rick Davis, a member for 14 months, writes, "Morning, guys. Obligatory Skull and Bones reference incoming."
Yarg.
I like that he's got a trigger warning for Skull and Bones talk. Got it for $10 from Best Buy today, and will soon be joining Hogue/Alex on the high seas.
Alex will not be joining you, Rick. I can promise you.
I think Alex logged off pretty quickly. Of the high seas. Yeah,
he did.
He was not a fan as much as Hogue and I.
Yeah, as much as we talk about Skull and Bones half ironically here, or most ironically here, it is
no irony towards Skull and Bones.
It is the special deal from Best Buy today for $10. You can get the deluxe edition, I believe, or the day one edition, one of those editions, for $10. And no joke, I ordered it as well, just to have it.
I got to tell you, I saw this on Twitter, and thank you for sharing it with everybody here, Rick Davis. But I said in response, there is not a person on earth I wouldn't recommend Skull and Bones to for $10. So that's a great deal. Go get it if you got $10. It's cheaper than getting yourself a DoorDash. You don't need to eat, folks. Skull and Bones is all the food you need.
All right, great. That is legal advice, by the way. If you pick up Skull and Bones for $10, I think there's a better chance that you will see Hoag's name as a box quote rather than mine, a person who reviewed it for IGN. So pretty high chances there. Hoag's
I got 128 hours in Skull and Bones right now, according to my PlayStation. Nice. So if you paid $10 for that, you're doing pretty well on the old hours to dollars spent scale.
Yeah. If you put 128 hours into Skull and Bones, yeah.
All you have to do is fall in love with it like I did.
Yeah. Rick, thank you as always. I'll let you know. I don't even know if I have time to play it. $10 physical copy. I was like, sure, I'll buy it. Why not?
You did buy it? Nice.
Yeah, I bought it this morning. Yeah.
Sweet.
Christopher Jetzer.
Christopher Jetzer for $10 writes, I was listening to ACG about Space Marine 2. He was addressing some potential concerns in the engine, which is similar to World War Z. Same devs. He wasn't saying it was bad, just possible. Thoughts?
I was talking to ACG this morning, actually.
So was I.
That's fun.
I was not.
What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, this is definitely possible. It is a Focus interactive game. So what we've seen out of Focus are what I would call kind of core AA games. Like they've kind of stretched a little bit when they've tried to go full AAA. And a lot of their games are kind of in that 6 to 8 range, you know, where their games typically play. So they have spent extra time on Space Marine 2. It was originally supposed to launch last year, and they kind of delayed it a couple times, minor delays a couple times to really polish it. And the previews are very strong on Space Marine 2, which we're obviously going to talk about. So I'm excited. We'll see. Obviously, there's no way to tell until we get our hands on it, but we will see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks great. I think you can only take the publisher and the developer so far with all of the churn and turnover we see in the industry. So absolutely use it as kind of I don't know that I trust these guys or I love these guys or what have you, but there's always going to be slight differences in resources and management for whatever the project is. And I think Space Marine 2 has every indication of something that the publisher believes in. Just from the delay alone, really, is they delayed it way out of a financial statement. So I think they want it to be great. Will it be? Will it still have problems? Maybe, but I wouldn't go in thinking that it necessarily will.
Yeah, agreed. And we'll talk more, obviously, about Space Marine here shortly. But Chris, thank you very much. James
Berger for $5 writes, so you guys are going to do a deep Warhammer lore dive, right? I'd love to, actually.
Mr. Berger is a Hogue family friend, and he loves his miniatures. So nice. we can talk about Death to the Heretic as much as you want. That's about as far as I can get into Warhammer lore. Purge the Xeno, I think, is one of them. But hey, you know, if you guys can offer anything extra, I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
I cannot. I like Warhammer for what I see. I do not know the lore of Warhammer.
I think Warp works through like chaos, and like chaos is bad, and we like order, or something like that.
Depending on the faction, yeah.
How good is that, Mr. Berger? Is that deep enough?
So the Hogue's like, there's good and there's bad. I got it, nailed it.
No. Like what do I know? I know there's Tyranids. There's like zombie aliens out there.
No,
in general, like humanity has organized around the notion that like aliens are bad. And from the Space Marine perspective, we're going to be going out there and murdering aliens, I believe. Is that an accurate depiction of the lore of Warhammer 40,000?
I would say that you gave a 40,000 foot view of Warhammer lore.
All right, fair enough. But yes,
we'll tackle more, but I will not, because I want to kind of end on Hoax.
Yeah, end that there, and then you can touch on it once we get to the game itself.
Cool.
Ash Axiom with a gifted membership on both the SG and Hogue Law side of the house. Ash, you're awesome.
Thank you, Ash.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right. Right on time, right on schedule. Mr. John Clark himself is here to hang out with us. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Gentlemen, it's esteemed company today. I'm kind of like a little bit fangirling.
Get off the screen.
Get off the screen.
I know. I couldn't get it off the screen. Sorry about that. How are we feeling, man?
Nice. I'm good. It is stupid hot. Like us Brits are not used to this. It is 31 degrees centigrade over here, which is
in the
bloody
mid 80s. Yeah, mid 80s.
It's
but with no
humid.
AC, right?
No AC. There's just like one big bucket of water we just dunk ourselves in and carry on trucking. It's very, very warm. Like, and in here, this is like my garage converted. Yeah, it's just fully enclosed. It's trapping all of the heat, all of the juices. I'm feeling damp. I'm wearing a black t-shirt on purpose. But congrats, Tiger Travis, on tying the knot. All the best. I saw a brief clip of violins punching out some tunes that I approved of.
Pretty popular part of the evening. Everybody seemed to have a good time, except for Dee, who had to marry me. She was not happy.
I'm sure she's in it for a reason, man. You know, don't sell yourself short.
That reason is blackmail.
The dark side of Tiger Travis.
Well, good to have you on, my friend. Obviously, we, I kind of said that we wanted to talk more about this. We obviously sat down and you introduced this game to us back in June at Summer Game Fest. We had a good time playing it with the crew there with your kind of preliminary cards. It's a good laugh. So since then, coming on, if you're not familiar, this is John, co-founder of Xbox Era, and they have launched a Kickstarter for a new card game that John, I believe you created, right? Or is there other people involved?
So from a game design perspective, but the thing with card games is they are like, how do I say this? There's only so many card game mechanics, right? Especially when you've got just cards. So like, it's got little bits of Monopoly Deal, it's got bits of Exploding Kittens, it's got bits of Unstable Unicorns, it's got bits of lots of things. But then if you look at those card games, you can say, that's just gin rummy. They're all very similar. But it's a spin on collecting intellectual properties and playing in the console wars, and it's meant to be satirical and poking fun at it. And it's not been lost on me the amusing irony of Xbox Era, fanboy site, we announced Console Wars, the card game, and then you see console warriors console warring about Console Wars, the card game, and talking, you're making playing card games instead of playing Xbox. And I'm like, gee, this is perfect. This is like, like when they do reviews and you show all the reviews.
About console wars about console wars.
It's so funny. Like, do those people, are they aware that they're doing that? I don't know. I'm gutted that you guys haven't got them yet. They're
I was hoping to hold it up. Yeah, I was hoping to hold it up. But.
Yeah, well, so just to let everybody else watching know, these three all have a beta deck that was printed. So don't expect the full finished article, because those nice boxes were expensive to produce for a prototype. But you've got the deck of cards, and there's a manual online, and it is just as simple as it's just cards, right? There's no bits to worry about and complicated rule sets. But it's been amazing seeing the amusing reaction, and it was funded in just 4 days, which kind of blew us away a little bit.
No, you did great at the early marketing there. I wanted to say I was really impressed, because Ains had told us about this a little earlier, and I was like, I wonder how they're going to launch it. And then it was all over my timeline with everybody reposting it and sharing it, and that doesn't happen with everything. I'm pretty invested in the board card game Kickstarter space.
Yeah.
And it always pains me to see a good idea go out there and die.
Yeah.
With a bad marketing plan, or just because the people aren't interested in it at that point in time. And so I was very happy to see yours really take off very quickly, at least on my social media.
Yeah, like it's funded, right? It funded in 4 days, and I'm pleased with that too. I think I'm like, there's loads of stuff I wish I'd known, but I haven't done. Like we people shared it. Like there was a thread on Resetera, and we're like, I'm looking down, and there was a guy that initially I think this is just part and parcel of, you know, the people that play in this space. Like, I don't think everybody in gaming is super social, right? I think that's fair to say. Not everybody is great at talking to other people. Like, some people are, but not everybody. And this post came across as really snarky, but it wasn't. And I was like, I'm not going to take that snarky. I'm going to listen to that feedback. And I replied, and this dude was so nice. He was like, here's the things you should do. And he was like, oh, hell. And he shared it on Reddit on our behalf in our board games, because I don't have enough karma on Reddit to be able to share it and promote. And I get it. A lot of these insular communities are like, don't come here spamming your Kickstarter links. All right. We don't want to see this stuff. And he really helped us. It was really like, he didn't have to do that, but he did. It was really, really kind of him. So yeah, we've seen some really good feedback, but from a marketing perspective, like getting Abubakar Salim to narrate the trailer was chef's kiss.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I saw that. You didn't tell me that ahead of time, and I saw it. I was like,
that was
awesome.
The surprise. And the other big surprise for the community was obviously not only, hey, it's not a book, we actually made a game. There has been interest from some parties on a digital version, which
cool.
I would adore, like, to see that come to life and have it crossplay. And because the thing that bugs me about a lot of
crossplay, it has to be unique to each.
No, you've got to let those PlayStation, Xbox go against each other, you know, in real life.
Scoring across the consoles.
Yeah, it'd be nice, right? But the funny thing about a lot of modern card games on console is they don't have the things that I would want, like leaderboards and like most damage dealt using, you know, most wins via like stats. Give me stats.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see something like that. But yeah, it's been really cool being able to get it off the ground. I just wish you guys had the decks and had it, because when you see it and you see all the silly parody pun games like Mood, which is proving very popular, it's such a laugh. It is really good fun. We've been playing it all weekend, which is why I can only briefly pop in, because bad timing, and it's just how it is, because the Kickstarter wasn't meant to launch until next week. My best mate, who's like virtually my brother from another mother, he'd moved to New Orleans like a year ago, and he's back for the first time. He's got his green card, so he's back. He's allowed to come back, and he's here this weekend. And I'm like, I got to do some stuff. So it's like I've been hopping in and out doing the podcast tour. But
yeah. Okay.
Fun.
So I put up a couple pictures real quick just to show people. So obviously, here's your key art, right?
Yeah, very pretty. Pre-drag. And shout out to Pre-drag, our artist. He is. He makes Xbox Hero look like a big outlet. We're not. We have no money. That's why we are so poor.
Obviously, there's some, you know, your IP art or key cards, right?
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate and Rune Shape, yeah.
And they've all got little puns on. So, like, Baldur's Gate at the bottom says something like, the first time in video games where you can have intimate relations with a bear, right? So there's always, like, little puns about the IPs that it's kind of riffing off of.
Yep. Let's see. So we've got this look as well. So the idea, right, John, is really, like you said, you're trying to gather IPs from different genres, and you use your fans to basically help you expand. And the idea is to capture 4 sets of intellectual properties to win.
Yeah, so like first-person shooters, platformers, horror games, and so on and so on. Yeah, absolutely correct.
Yeah, it's cool. And then you said this one as well, which was funny because it made me think of when we played it, which was, you know, your early renditions of what the art was going to look like and how it was going to work. So very cool to share. So
that was the deck you had to play with, and I put a lot of effort in. Come on.
No, I mean it's better than I would have done. That's for sure. Yeah.
Oh man.
Say it again, Travis.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you said something. Sorry. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, I know your time is limited, my friend. So you had the Kickstarter launch this week for $25K. It's fully funded. You've talked about some stretch goals. I don't know the full details of those. Any kind of thoughts you want to share?
Yeah, like we realized pretty early on, like, you know, foolishly we didn't have like pre-set up in places. Like I love playing card and board games, but I'm not like deeply invested where I'm kickstarting every single idea on the planet. So I wasn't a member of BoardGameGeek.com, for example. So I can't, and I didn't want to, like I said earlier, I don't want to start invading these communities and just spamming links. No one likes that. I don't like doing it. But you know, they've let me set up the game there, and I'm hoping someone at some point will spot it. And you know, for $25, the idea is it's a price of pizza. You know, we followed Abubakar Salim's mantra of, you know, when he was going out talking about Tales of Kinzera Zal. So how much should the game be? It should be the cost of pizza. The gutting thing is shipping. A lot of people look at the shipping costs. We're splitting fulfillment centers across the UK or EU and US to try and lower that. But it does include, obviously, the freight from where we're manufacturing to those 2 locations, and then all the packaging and the picking and yada, yada, yada. But we didn't want to overcomplicate the campaign. And originally, we were like, here's a standard version. It's $25. Go ham. You know, like everyone, it's cheap and cheerful. Everyone can just have fun with this. It'll be great. And every one of our communities bought the super duper over the top hot foil box, twice the money edition. And I'm like, what are you doing? This isn't what we had planned. We thought we'd have like loads more backers, but we've got a good core of backers that have funded us to where we need to be. But we're not like selling loads and loads. So it's like, this is strange. So we've rethought the stretch goals a little bit, and it's all just percentage based now. And it's basically just to make the end product better. So we're not doing like add-ons like t-shirts and stuff. If you want a t-shirt, you can get one off of the consolewarsgame.com merch store. You can just go buy it. It's got nothing to do with us. Like we're using Teespring like many places do. They'll produce it, they'll send it. But the stretch goals are just percentage. So like 100%, which is now everybody gets the Kickstarted card, which is like a special action card, completely evil in its design, which is basically at any point you play it and you can steal someone else's fan base and swap it for yours. So you could have like 10 million fans and they could have 250 and just be like, boop. This is a game for people that want to be dicks to their friends, like 100%. It's not cooperative.
You purposely mess with each other.
Yes. Yeah, you are deliberately griefing each other. It's very cruel. What better theme than for Console Wars? And then we've got things like market condition cards. So as you play, there are cards that pop up through normal play that affect everybody. And one of the stretch goals is we're going to add 3 more to the base game. Well, cool. One of those new 3 is the press sneak FUCK card. I didn't know if this was a swearing podcast. I've just spelt it anyway. Any kids listening, don't repeat those letters. I didn't know if this was PG-13 or not. I'm British. Every other word is an F
once
word.
In a while. Yeah. Don't go full British. Please.
But yeah, there's a little cartoon man on there. I'll let the community decide who it might look like as the press sneak guy. But yeah, there's that particular event. Everybody has to show their hands to everybody else for 30 seconds. So, and what I like about these moments is you might have a strategy and you might have a plan, and in any moment that plan's going to change. Like there's another community card that everybody give your hand to the person on the left. She might have all of these moves ready to go, and then you've lost everything you had planned, and you've got to sort of try and rebuild. So there's some randomness, but there's definitely some tactics and skill and other bits in there. Yeah. So there's all little things like that. We're just trying to build and add more to the base game. So there's no add-ons, there's nothing crazy. You just get more at the end, depending upon where we land in. And
everybody
days.
Gets it.
Everybody gets it. Everybody will get the upgrades that we've listed. Yeah, so
it's good.
No one misses out, which I think is nicer, and it keeps it simple for me from shipping, because shipping the book was not a good time for me. I've learned a lot about Kickstarters.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. But yeah, it takes it took us maybe 15-20 minutes to start to really kind of get into the groove when we first played it, right? Once you get that, it kind of clicks. And
for a standard game, half hour to 45 minutes for a 5-player game. If you want quicker ones, you can simply reduce the number of sets to win. But we've also come up with an alternate mode called Console Wars Frenzy, which is basically you pick up 2 at the end of your go instead of at the beginning. And what that means is you're playing much faster because you're not picking up more and having to then decide. You've already decided the course of action. You play, you pick up 2 at the end. And it really speeds things up. It changes the dynamics quite a bit. So there's multiple ways to play and enjoy it. You guys will have links to the manuals, so you'll be able to teach your family and stuff how it plays. But it should be as simple as you deal 5, you pick up 2 at the start of your go, you play 3. That's the game. It's that simple to play. It shouldn't be hard. Like my 10-year-old beat me the other day, much to my annoyance. So if you've got young'uns, it's fine. And there's no bad language in the actual cards. It's all PG, fine. There's nothing, no swearies. It's all lovely.
Nice.
But the coolest thing is we're going to be at Gamescom. That's the other surprise for the community. Like, not only are we going next week, we're going to have a booth. So if anyone watching is heading out to Germany, and I know that, for Jesse, for example, on our side, he's one of the Americans on the team, he's never left the US.
That's
in
a lot
42
of Americans,
years.
Sadly. That's a lot of Americans, sadly.
Yeah. You guys have got all the cool cool different, what's a video game parlance? Biomes. You've got all the cool biomes. You've got tropical. You've got mountains. You've got skiing. You've got deserts. You don't need to leave the country. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a booth in Gamescom so people can come by and play, including press and stuff, and actually get hands on. And we're obviously hoping that that's in the brand new cards and boards hall, and people will be able to actually see it, play it, and back it right there. Secure their copy. It's already funded. Boom.
That's awesome.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Fair. No, it's going to be a nice couple of weeks for you, man. So I'm sure it's been a good week already, given the funding and given the interest in the game, which is awesome. But getting to do Gamescom and have Jesse over, and man, I'm just excited for you. I know
first
it's
podcast,
a lot of work. So. Yeah,
first podcast next week in 5 years since Xbox Series has been founded. They were actually ever meeting in real life, and we're going to be in the same room filming the first ever live show from here. It's going to be nuts. We're going to put them through a kind of British food challenge. There's been a lot of slander. I know I'm on my own here. I'm on an island on my own here, literally. But there's been a lot of British food slander. Like, you guys seem to have this mistaken belief that we don't have salt and pepper here. We don't know how to season our food.
Hey, I defend it, John. I'm with you, given the family. But Travis,
you know it's not true.
Yes, I do.
So, but there was a big argument yesterday on best types of biscuits, and Nick, the ever egotistical Australian, was arguing that a Tim Tam is the king of biscuits. And for me, and Ains, you should know this.
Tim Tam's pretty good though.
It's just a glorified penguin, isn't it? It's a penguin bar, right?
Penguin,
We've had those. Penguin. It's a bourbon biscuit covered in chocolate. Who gives the monkeys?
I have lost track of what anybody is saying.
Tim Tams are pretty good. I would put them on the higher end.
There's better.
There's not as good as a Foxy's Crunch Cream. Now, is there, Ains? You know.
Yeah.
I have to cross over to first understanding that biscuit is cookie. Is that
cookie?
Right?
Yes. Yep. You're there.
Yeah. See, over here we call everything cookies, where over there you have biscuits and crackers, and there's more variation in how they describe the things over there.
Yeah. Like, we call a cookie a cookie. Like, if it's a cookie, it's a very specific baked cookie.
It's sweet. Yeah.
Yes. Biscuits are different. There's different types. It's fine.
Biscuits. Yeah.
I'm not going to carry on doing this to you. I'm sorry. This is such a
it's okay. We went into British Foodcast today, so it's a variation from our normal Foodcast.
Good company. In good company.
I just like the notion that a Tim Tam is apparently just a penguin, and I lost it. I have no idea what's going on.
I grew up on penguins, man. We always had penguins.
Yeah, you had a penguin in your lunchbox. Lovely.
Of course. Yeah. Anyway, man, before I let you go, I know, like I said, I know you got stuff going on, but thanks for coming on. Thanks for promoting it. Obviously, we're going to be talking about it. We'll get our copies this week. I actually hope to play it with my family this week. We have a kind of a weekly game night during the week with dinner, so I'm going to introduce it to them, and we'll talk a little more about it in the coming week or two on the show as well. And obviously, stay tuned in with you for Gamescom. So
I'd love to see it, guys. If anyone has any on the spot rule based questions, like, I've tried to be very, very clear in the rule set, because a lot of things that bug me about other games is that they are not fully like, this is how it works. There's no exceptions. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Twitter or on Discord, whatever you like. I'm going to be cheeky.
Doesn't have rule complaints from me. It'll be the first. So hey.
Well, I'm hoping not, because this has been play tested to death. There should be no ambiguity of what you can and cannot do. And I had one game designer give me some feedback that was like, "Oh, you should have icons instead of text on the cards that tells you what to do, and then you can give all the players an icon reference card." And I'm like, there are 19 unique action cards that do different things, and you want me to build an icon for each one and then have the player memorize and look down a list? No, I'm going to write some extra words on the card. That's bonkers. So yeah, hopefully you'll have fun with it. But I really appreciate you guys letting me jump on. And if anyone watching is interested in backing it, I will cheekily put a link in the chat. Feel free to go and check it out.
Yeah, please do. I'll pin it, and then I'll put it in the description as well after the show.
Appreciate you, bro. But yeah, nutshell, much like Season Gaming, you're helping keep independent games journalism alive, right? And people are like, what's this got to do with games journalism? Xbox Series is a completely independent site. It is a bunch of people that have come together out of passion to do something, and we barely keep alive. It is all based on Patreon and community funding. Ziff Davis owns everything now. IGN journalists silent about the consolidation on that front. Understandably, right? They've got their jobs to take care of.
Not Travis.
You're freelancer, aren't you, Travis? Correct me if I'm wrong, or are you full time? I don't know.
I worked for Ziff Davis, the parent company, for 6 years. So
okay.
I will.
Okay, works though. Past tense.
By the way, in acquisitions and mergers.
It's got nose. You got the inside track.
I am the first person to tell you that mergers is shitty.
Yeah, it's
shitty.
I think
IGN feels that way too.
Yeah, I know that many of the journalists that maybe want to say something, but like at the end of the day, there are certain times when you just have to look after number one. I totally get it. You just stay silent and carry on doing your job, right? But it's like, and we see all these little sites just going down. We saw Game Informer closed, and it's why I love that places like ours, like Season Gaming, can exist, because there are people out there that do want that. They want a little close-knit community. And I think you're seeing more and more the rest of the bigger independent sites realizing that we can't just be words on a page anymore. Like we saw VGC launch a Patreon 2 weeks ago. They are understanding that the media metrics of gaming and this industry is changing to the point where you've got to have a face at the end of the screen and a community to talk to. Otherwise, you're just a commodity. But yeah, that's me going off on a whole different track,
what we do here. It's okay.
Yeah, that's what we do. I mean, yeah.
Thanks ever so much for having me on, guys. And I hate like dropping in, being a sales guy, and then jumping out again.
No, you're good, man. You've been on before. We'll have you on again. Maybe
dude, give me a shout.
Sometimes early September we'll come back.
Yeah, we can talk about some stuff that I'm seeing some stuff. Yeah, some light tease. I am seeing some things soon.
Great. Yeah. We'll have you back on. We'll do a full show as some previews and post games.
It'd be good.
Stuff, so. Yeah. I want a card, John.
You want a card?
Yeah, I want IGN trashed your game, lose 50 million fans.
You already gave it a card. You heard
it. That's a good stretch goal.
There's a media bias card. One of the stretch goals is community suggestions for action cards, because I've heard some doozies that are like, mwah. But we've been very careful. Every card doesn't mention anyone specifically. Like,
no, I want to be mentioned specifically. I want the biased media. Travis North.
Bow tie. Yeah, you do bow tie Trevor at GIN.
Working for
I'm writing it down right now. This is happening.
You
know,
have
bow tie Trevor.
You have my permission to trash me in your card game. I will not sue. Hogue is representing me in this matter.
I don't know, man. Guys, Hogue's pretty shit hot at this stuff. I'm going to be
I told you you're not my client, Travis.
I am your client. We have privilege. Everything I say to you is privileged, Hogue.
Sure.
Live on air.
All right, brother. Well,
guys, I'll let you crack on with the rest of your show. Thanks so much for having us.
As always, good chatting with you. We'll be in touch soon, of course. Have a blast at Gamescom. Obviously, I'll talk to you offline. So
yeah, man, for sure. Thanks, everybody. Catch you later.
Great, man.
Bye.
All right.
I'm Hogue.
Tie guy. There you
go. For a brief period of time.
What
was
was
tie
that?
Trevor?
What was that impression of me?
That was pretty good. Spot on, dude. Spot on. Couldn't even tell. For a second, our viewers were like, "Why are there two Hogues? This is crazy."
All right, we'll get to. Want to thank John. Yeah, definitely check that out. It is a very fun game. It's very cool what they're doing over there. So check that out. I'll put it in the description as well for our audio listeners who check us out later. Before we talk about what we're currently playing, we did need to just put up Tide's picks, of course. And here we are for this week. I don't know. What game are we going with here, boys? What is this? I didn't even ask her.
I like trying to figure out what Tide was thinking as part of the game here.
Yeah.
I think this is, this appears to be Grand Blue, right? Like it's that, at least I do. But yeah.
Vision of Mana, Tide just said. This is supposed to be Vision of Mana.
Okay.
There you go. Well, the M in Season Gaming is an actual M this week, so that's cool.
I think you're not giving enough credit to anything looking like English coming out of the AI.
Yeah, it's actually pretty solid for once, the words there. Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah. Ains, you look very featured.
I look like Hitman. I look like Agent 47, but
really
in anime
good.
form.
I look like just the twinkiest of twinks over there. It's just, dude, absolutely max twink level max is where I'm at down there. Good for me. Good for me. Got to do it. Hogue, I still feel you were bribing these AI. I don't know why they dude. There's something.
I do look awesome. I mean, I think my hair needs a wash, but I look awesome.
That's like, yeah, he looks like the total perfect anime sculpted hero there. Yep.
It's crazy. Yeah,
it's just how I look in real life. You can put the video back up.
He gives good protagonist in that photo for sure.
Do you actually want me to put the video back up?
It's just how I look.
Hogan's like, keep that photo over me.
Yeah.
Rest of the show.
That's great. Ty, thank you as always. Appreciate you. All right. So obviously, what we've been, we've been gone this week. Travis was doing a little thing, getting married. I was out in San Francisco for the week, so I have played quite literally nothing other than what I talked about last week. And we've got a lot of games to talk about today anyway, especially with John coming by. So Hogue, I'm going to hand it to you to talk about maybe a game or two that you've been playing or been enjoying, and then I figure we can just jump into the other games. We'll keep this segment rather straightforward.
Sure, I've got a couple things I want to talk about, actually. Like you, I've been doing other things, and it's that kind of period of time towards the end of summer before the games hit. That's one of the reasons we're going to talk about them in just a minute. That gives me a chance to kind of catch up on stuff that I didn't get as far as I wanted to when they originally came out. So I've been playing a lot of stuff that I either originally dropped or just wasn't working out for me last year. And that includes a game called Banishers, The Ghost of New Eden, which I've talked about a little bit. I think Travis reviewed, which is a game in tone and story and character that I really like. But in level design, like, it is so annoying. I cannot figure out how to stop running in circles at various occasions. And it just says, go to the bridge, and then it's 3 levels different. And you have to figure out how to get there with a map that doesn't work and a compass that will not direct you in the right direction. But regardless of all that, I do enjoy it when they actually tell stories and have characters, and I'm not running around in the woods unable to figure out where I'm going. So that's a game that I like and I recommend. But
can I pause you there?
Yeah.
So this is a game that I've seen a lot of people rave about from a story perspective and looked really good to me. Just didn't have the time as per usual, but I've thought about picking up now that it's cheaper and getting into it later this year after this stretch of games we're talking about. The level design definitely concerns me. So is this like hub and spoke world? Is it open world? How's it actually structured in the game world?
It's open world in structure, but not in size, right? So large areas, like you're in the forest, say, and you'll be in an area that you can run around in, and the map will show you a version of what you're running around in that is designed to kind of look artistically like it was made in the 17th century.
Okay.
So it's not as useful as it could be. And the compass, as kind of a punishment to go with that, doesn't really point you the direction you need to go to get to there. So, like when we're talking about levels that have like something off in the distance, whether or not the compass or the line or whatever the game uses shows you just where you're going or how to get there, is like a difference in how these games are programmed. And this one just isn't good at telling you which cave you need to go in and which ladder you need to climb up to get to the second level, to get to the third level so that you can get across whatever it is you're trying to get to. So you wind up spending a lot of time trying to figure out the environment, or putting your right hand on the wall and running through the whole maze and figuring out where you might be able to go. And I don't love that. It involves a lot of backtracking and getting lost in a way that I don't find to be terribly fun. But when the game is hitting and it's giving you stories about ghosts and hauntings and actually letting you interact with whether or not you should punish someone or not and what you're going to do with their souls and things like that, it's really, really good. But I wish it were a little better in the level design.
Okay. All right.
So I've been playing that. I've also been jumping back into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is a game that has a Skull and Bones like hour limit on my PlayStation right this second.
Did you ever finish it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so why are you jumping back into it? I'm not sarcastically. I'm actually asking.
I give lots of games a second try. In general, when we're talking about RPGs and movies or books or anything else, I find that the second run through is the one that's best. And so I wait till I can't remember every detail of what happened, and then I go through them again. I was kind of not expecting to play through Rebirth again this weekend, but sometimes it's just on your menu screen and your hand just hits that button and you're like, okay, let's do this. And so I wound up playing it extensively this weekend, and I've been enjoying it. The last couple times I tried to get back into Rebirth, I wound up getting kind of overwhelmed by the number of annoyances and frustrations that I had going through it the first time and not wanting to get into it again. But this last time, especially in the first area, which I think is my favorite, I've been able to kind of ignore those things for the most part, although they do still kind of jump up and say, oh yeah, that part's really annoying. I'm not looking forward to getting to that area of the game or that one. And there's like 20. So it's still a game I respect more than I like fully. But I have been playing through that as well. But on the Hogs Notes side of things, I do want to mention some big time winners that I really enjoy that aren't anything like the big budget Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or Banishers. The first of which is called Cat Quest 3, which, if you're not familiar with the Cat Quest franchise, is a kind of riff on Cartoon Diablo, where you get loot for your cartoon cat, and then the graphics are basically like this cartoon cat is sticking up like a pop-up book on top of the map of the land that he gets to explore. And the first couple cat quests had kind of traditional fantasy storylines. This one has you as a cat pirate. So you've got a ship, you've got islands to explore, you've got a billion cat puns. It's everything you could want in a Cat Quest game. Plus, you can get your skull and bones on because you're pirating around and you're fighting the Pirate King, and it's a good time. So, Cat Quest 3.
I'm actually
out right now.
Hope.
Check it out. Nope.
I am looking at the trailer right now. It looks rather hilarious. So
perfect.
Yeah. I'm not ready for this, Hogue. I'm tired. I can't deal with this today.
Awesome.
Damn it. Travis, help me. Stop him.
I will not.
is there actually you said it's kind of like Diablo, so I see kind of the top down or half isometric. There's some side scrolling, it looks like, as well. Action, is there actual like loot in the sense of like skill stuff and customization, upgrading your skills, that type of stuff?
There's loot and there's upgrades. I say it as Diablo-like as the best explanation of what it is. You're going into caves and you're fighting and things, but it isn't that level of skill tree or anything like that. It's more like you just collect coins and you get to decide exactly how you're going to upgrade your loot. And if the same loot drops again, it upgrades your loot automatically that is already in your inventory or equipped. But it all appears on your cat. It's a fun, cartoony look. It's not an expensive game. Cat Quest and Cat Quest 2 are fantastic. I haven't gotten far enough in Cat Quest 3 to give it like a full endorsement, but it's what you expect if I were to tell you that a Cat Quest game was about piracy and is in, I want to say it's like in the Caribbean. I can never remember all of the puns, but I believe it's in the Caribbean. So... yeah.
But regardless,
Cat Quest 3, let's get your pirate on, folks.
And that's,
so I wanted to reference that one.
Is that out right now?
It's out right now. You can play Cat Quest 3 while you're listening to us talk if you'd like.
Okay, fair enough. How much was it?
I want to say 25, but it might have been less.
Okay, cool. Very cool. It does look cool. I just watched the launch trailer for it. It looks fun.
And you don't have to jump in at Cat Quest 3. I would be willing to bet that 1 and 2 are even lower price at this point.
Well, Cheeseworks just said he just bought Cat Quest 2 on Xbox for like $3.
There you go. Follow Cheeseworks.
D is a big
great name for someone that just purchased Cat Quest. I love it.
Oh, D's a Cat Quester?
Yes.
All right.
Cat Quest is great. Like, it was unexpectedly great when the first one came out. And then they've made a little series out of it. So
cool. Good for that.
Check it out. The other thing I wanted to mention, well, there's 2 more things I want to mention, but the first thing I want to mention is a game that I played on Game Pass that I was unexpectedly really engaged with this week called Creatures of Ava, which is a exploration-based game where you're a young girl in like a space society, like it's in the future, but you're landed on an alien planet, crash landed on an alien planet, in order to save it from a blight of some kind. And you work with the creatures on this planet with kind of non-violent exploration as your framework instead of combat. So there's villages and things that you can find, but you're mostly playing a flute at creatures and trying to get them to teleportation places so that you can help save them and free them from this planet on an arc. And the graphics are very similar to what Travis recommended last year, a game called Palia, or World of Warcraft, if you're more into that side of things. But it's very colorful. It's a lot of fun. It's got some good kind of puzzle work in figuring out which creatures you need, because certain creatures can break down certain barriers or otherwise advance you through the environment in certain ways. And like I said, if you've got Game Pass right now, it's no additional cost right this second for you. But I really like it. It's well worth the time to check it out. And I always like supporting games that figure out ways to have interesting dynamics and storytelling without requiring destruction and combat. So it's not quite a cozy game in that there's a lot of environmental traversal and a lot of things where you can go wrong and you have to figure out how to get to where you're going through map usage and navigation. But it's really it's really quite good, and I like to support games like that. So Creatures of Ava is that game. Please do check it out. And then this last one that I want to reference.
Hold on, Hook.
Yeah.
Hold on. So real quick on Cat Quest, going back to it for a moment.
Yeah.
Someone asked what platform you're playing on and how's the performance?
I play Cat Quest on my Switch. And it performs great on the Switch. It does lose resolution a little bit, which is a shame because Cat Quest is a little cartoony game. But it works really well. The loads aren't too long, which is where I usually get in trouble with Switch games. And I play all my Cat Quests on Switch.
Okay, cool. And by the way, other people have checked it. It's $19.99 on both PlayStation and Xbox as well. So there you go. All right. Please continue. Hoax notes.
Yes. The last Hoax notes that I have is I do like to support games that upgrade themselves and are constantly worked on if they don't get a great kind of reception when they originally launch. And this is a game that I enjoyed when it first came out that got kind of a massive rework this last week that I didn't even know was happening until I saw the video on like the news menu of the console I was playing on. So usually I think that's a waste of time, but this time it worked out pretty well. It's a game called Atlas Fallen, which I played last year. I talked about it. It got a complete rework for free, which they call Rain of Sand. And it has a new voice actor in the main role, and it has some new dynamics and new loot, what amounts to loot, skills that you can get to equip to your character. And I think it's well worth trying, especially now that they've shown that they're backing it as they go. I liked it when it originally came out. I think it's even better now. This is the game, if you don't remember Atlas Fallen, where you've got kind of the sand surfing. And you fight monsters in kind of God of War style, and your axe gets bigger and bigger as you get momentum in combat. But they've added a bunch of new enemies. They've added a bunch of new areas. They added a bunch of new plot points. The onboarding is different than it used to be. And at least the male voice actor, I believe, is Ben Starr. Like, I recognize his voice from Final Fantasy 16, I think. That was not the case last year. So if I get any of that information wrong, I'm not looking at like a bullet points of what they changed, but I'm pretty sure they added Ben Starr as their main male protagonist. And this is a creative player type thing, so you can have a female protagonist instead. But it's a really good game with some good ideas. It's an open world type action adventure. And I can recommend it even more now that it's a year later, so it's whatever price it is right now. But with Rain of Sand as a free upgrade, it's even better than it used to be. So check it out.
Yeah, that so funny enough, that came out last year, almost at this time, actually, August 9th. So literally a year to the day almost. But it's a Focus Entertainment game and landed in the 6 to 8 range, like I said earlier, that for whatever reason, most Focus Entertainment games do. It's cool that they've continued to update it, though. That's kind of why I like those types of games. They may launch as a 6, 7, even 8, but they definitely continue to work on them. It's a good time to pick them up a little post-launch when they're cheaper and have been optimized. So good stuff. I expect Flintlock will be another one of those games that gets touched up over time and is a better play down the line.
I know a lot of people have liked that one. I kind of bounced off it, but
Yeah.
The only other thing I wanted to mention, which I haven't played, so I can't endorse, but I want to play it soon, is that the new SteamWorld Heist came out this week. So SteamWorld Heist 2 came out. I really like SteamWorld Heist 1. I really like SteamWorld as an IP, like what they've done with it and have all these different types of games in that universe.
Yep.
But that one did come out this week, and I'm looking forward to trying it in the next little while.
That was a big one at Summer Game Fest. They had on demos and stuff. People seem to be enjoying it. I haven't played it either, but yeah, good call out. Travis, it looked like you were going to say something.
I was going to say, Hoax Notes, Hoax Notes. That's the end of Hoax Notes.
I like that I only have an outro song.
Got an intro and an outro. We're gonna have title cards for all of this.
Okay.
Ains and I just need some time to work on it.
Yeah. Apparently I'm working on that. I'm on it. All right. Travis, I know obviously there's some things under embargo. Obviously, you've been tied up this week for good reasons. Anything you want to call up before we jump into our main kind of discussion?
Yeah, you're right. I can't really talk about anything, unfortunately. But I have been playing stuff like since the wedding happened. I got a code for a game on Friday and been playing that, and I've got some reviews coming up.
You sure do know how to honeymoon, Travis.
Yeah. Well, do you think I'm bad, dude? She was working on the wedding day, so
hey,
we are workaholics who enable one another. It's great when you find a partner who brings out the worst qualities in you. But yeah,
your blood pressure, kids. That's all I ask.
It's good. We're having fun. We both have jobs we like, and I will have some stuff coming up. My next review is the Concord full game, which comes out I think next week.
We're going to be talking about here in a second. Yep.
Yeah, and then I'll also be reviewing Squirrel with a Gun later on.
Squirrel with a Gun. Sweet.
Squirrel with a Gun, which I'm very excited.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into kind of main topic. Like I said, we're going to be talking about this kind of upcoming lineup of games over the next three to 4 weeks or so, because there's just an amazing stretch of game releases coming even before we get into fall, which is awesome. So funny enough, we'll kick it off with Concord. Whether or not, we talked when the beta was happening about this game not really getting the early reception that I think Firewalk and PlayStation had hoped for. It's got an uphill battle, and we talked about that at length. But I wanted to kind of, as we talk through these, kind of give you the details if you're not familiar with the aspects of these games. So the basics, or not the basics, but the key points on Concord. So it's $40 for the regular edition. It's $60 for the deluxe edition, digital only. Well, you can buy a physical copy on PS5, but there's no physical bonuses, is what I meant to say. The launch date is actually August 23rd for Concord. So, a little less than 2 weeks out. But of course, if you buy the deluxe edition, you get it 3 days earlier. It'll go live on August 20th at noon Central Time is what's listed on PlayStation anyway. The deluxe includes that early access and 2 cosmetics pack, which I don't know about you guys, but $20 just for a couple cosmetics and 3-day early access seems like a ripoff to me. Yeah. There are going to be 12 maps at launch. I believe they said there were 5 that were played in the beta. So obviously those 5 and 7 additional, including 6 modes at launch as well, which kind of rotated through the beta. I remember that you could play different ones at different times. And there are reportedly hundreds and hundreds, is what they say on the site, of cosmetics to unlock in the game at launch. This obviously includes that progression system that they showed, that was active in the beta that was kind of limited. So I don't know. I know we've talked about this game pretty extensively. We won't spend too much time on it, but personally, I'm looking forward to this game. I think each of us said that. Travis, you're reviewing it. So we'll know here in 2 weeks' time where that kind of lands. I would suspect that it's going to have to wait for kind of servers to go up and people actually to be in the game to really get a full view of this. Yep. Eric is reviewing that for us at SG. He's, one of our big shooter guys alongside me. So excited about that. But yeah, I'm still excited for this. I'm just going to be buying the regular edition. That the extra $20 doesn't make sense to me. But, are you feeling any different about where this game's going to land based on, what you've seen post beta versus what we talked about previously?
Yeah. So I participated in both the betas. The second beta had some different content in it, which was pretty cool. But no, I feel like, I'm looking at it purely from do I like playing this game do I think it has potential? Is it fun, sort of thing? And from that perspective, I'm really enjoying it, and I don't really know anyone who played it and is like a first-person shooter guy that was like, I don't like this, or it's not good, or the combat's not there, or whatever. I think most of the concern is around like people kind of, armchair game developing in terms of, it should be free to play, or I don't know if it's going to have staying power and all that stuff, which are totally fair assessments, but I think they are beside the point of like, is the game good, which is what I tend to focus on. I'm a little myopic in that regard. But I think, what I've played so far has been pretty great. I'm excited for it, but not all good games succeed. Some of those games,
Of course.
fail and don't work out. And so this could very well be one of them. I can't claim to know what's going to succeed and what's not, right? Like when Helldivers was in preview and I was playing it, my first thought was, wow, this is really fun, but I could see people bouncing off this pretty quick, and I don't know that it's going to have staying power. And then I was totally wrong. Like people love that game and still play it. So I find it not always the most useful to talk about that. So I talk about the thing that I'm better at talking about, which is what I think of the game. And so far, so good. And I'm excited to play more.
Yeah, fair enough. Hogue, we talk a lot about you not really being in the competitive sense in terms of games, but you did like this one. Obviously, this is a game that is kind of class based or character based with abilities, right? So you don't have to be the run and gun slayer, if you will, on the team. You can kind of be a support player. Is that what you found in the beta?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I tend to track towards healer or support when I play these games. And I don't play them a lot. You're right there. But it also means I don't burn out on the content they offer as quickly as I see online and with people that really do play these to the ends of the earth, right? So I really liked the beta that I got to play. I love how the game feels. Like, I love how it feels to play. I love the characters that I got to play it with. I really like the notion of giving you bonuses for flipping players. So I think it has a lot of protections against kind of just being stuck in a rut with one main. And so I really am looking forward to Concord a lot. I did get the more expensive version because I need those 3 days to get as good as you guys are going to be when you roll in on day 4. So
3 days isn't going to do that, my friend.
Well, hey, I'm going to do my best, right? But I am looking forward to it. I've watched all the cartoons that PlayStation has put up. I do think some of the negative response is kind of console war oriented. This is one of PlayStation's big releases this fall, along with Astro Bot. And so you do get a certain amount of pushback of PlayStation trying to make live service arena game at all and kids game with Astro Bot, but I'm looking forward to both of them. And I think Concord could land, but I agree with Travis that it's a fool's errand to try to guess at what the public at large are going to like and what they're not going to like, because there's a bunch of different reasons why they would come up for or against any of this stuff. And part of that is going to be that it's PlayStation console war stuff. Part of it is going to be because they don't like how the Amari character looks and things like that. And what I've found in Concord and what I've tried to communicate here and elsewhere is that the game is great. The characters do feel different. And there does appear to be a road, if they take it, for differentiating the characters and their universe in a way with their CGI intro videos and their Galactic Encyclopedia that I think could work really well. And I wish they would have shown how that would work in practice a little bit in one of the betas, because I think that's one of their main differentiators. And I think it was a miss that they didn't. But Concord, I'm looking forward to. Not only did I get the expensive one, I also pre-ordered a Concord controller. I'm looking forward to this one so much. So I'm ready to go.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Hogue, but I'm assuming that as a reviewer, they're going to just give me the $60 version, so I'll be there with you 3 days early, I guess, or 3 days early in giant air quotes, angry air quotes. Is it possible for an air quote to be angry? So yeah, I don't know that you get a 3 day head start on me, but I could always use a healer.
I do like playing Jabali, I believe is his name.
Nice.
which his essential skills, if you don't play Concord or you don't know the beta, is that he's got a big heal ball that he throws at people and he's got a big damage ball that he throws at enemies. It's just great. So
Just
look out for my balls, Travis.
I always do, don't I?
Fair enough. I put a poll up on the SG side of the house of whether you're interested in Concord, yes, no, or you don't really play shooters. Just curious to see what our audience is thinking on that one. Yeah, so we will see. One thing I wanted to do today, just for shits and giggles, if you will, is really around what our Open Critic guesses are for each of these games we're going to be talking about. So Open Critic, throw a guess out there. Give me your number for Concord.
80 even.
Okay. I'm gonna put 70.
And Travis, I know you you have a little weight in this one, but that's okay.
Yeah. I have weight, but that is meaningless, trust me. If it's at 79 and I can make it 78 by giving it a 7, I obviously will do that.
Well, I mean, IGN is paid,
yeah, well, no, that's the thing. If we were paid, then I wouldn't have any control over it, right?
Yeah.
I would have to give whatever score they paid for. So,
you just have to make your words work for a 96, Travis.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So Hook says 80. I say 76.
I'm going 78.
70. Oh, we're right next to each other. Okay. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Okay. So that comes out, like I said, 20th and 23rd, depending on what you buy. So right in the same day, basically, as the deluxe version is Black Myth Wukong, a game that goes without saying I'm very, very interested in. I should be reviewing this one. This one launches on PS5 and PC on August 20th. The regular copy of this game is $59.99, and there is a digital deluxe edition for $69.99 that includes a few in-game items and a digital soundtrack if you're interested in that. There was also a deluxe physical edition and a collector's edition. Both of those have been sold out, so you can't really get those anymore. Regardless, the early previews that we had, the official launch trailer for this, the final trailer, if you will, that came out this week. It looks absolutely spectacular from a design perspective, from kind of what's going on in the game. There's been some conversation around, is this kind of a pure Souls-like, or does it have kind of different sensibilities to it? And kind of what's been said is that it is not, from what I've read, and anyone please feel free to correct me, but it's not open world. It's more of more kind of boss battles that are very similar to Souls games, of course, and it plays like an action kind of game in that vein, but there are less kind of open world segments. So I don't really know what to expect in terms of game size or game length on this one. Obviously, coming out of Game Science, which is the developer here, we also don't really have a good history of what it's going to play like when it launches. Is it going to be super polished? Is it going to be balanced? What's the depth going to be like in terms of the combat? How's it going to feel? Don't really know. There's a lot of questions about this one. All I can say is that from a design perspective and what I've seen on the screen in previews and have read about it, it's very, very high on the list for me for this year. So very excited about this. It's only less than 2 weeks away now, week and a half, right? And can't wait to get my hands on this one.
Yeah. I'll play this one. I think I was supposed to review it, but I believe we got the review code on my wedding day. So that'll be Mitchell Saltzman to look out for that one at IGN. It looks
nice. Cool. Yeah. Hogue, you're not normally your type of game.
No, this one's not for me. There's a couple of reasons why. One is that every time I look at video clips of this, I know that it's the kind of game that I would drop off of really quickly. It doesn't seem to be something that would work for me. From a stylistic and story point, I feel like I have played or seen or read like 600 versions of Journey to the West already. So I don't know what different take they're going to present on it. And I hope it's interesting and cool, but I feel like I have hit the beats of this particular story in a number of different venues. So if you don't have story, and I'm not all that interested in playing you from an action perspective, your graphic impressiveness is not going to get you far enough with me. But I hope everybody has a great time.
Fair enough. Yep. Yeah, so I'll be talking a lot more about this one post-launch. Like I said, I should be reviewing it. Got to see on timing there. But yeah, excited for it. I know I've got quite a few people I talked to that are going to be playing this one. So more to come here soon. But yeah, that's very, very close. I think we first saw that one 2 years ago now. So pretty cool that it's about to release.
I know I
Give
was
me your
mixing it up with Wulong for a little while there, so they had to have some pre-stuff at the same time.
Yes, exactly. Give me your open critic guesses for Wukong here.
Okay, the certainty level on this is non-existent because it could be broken when it comes out.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm going to go with 85.
Oh, he's going high. All right.
Man, this is
I'm gonna
tough,
go.
man.
I'm gonna go 81.
I'm gonna go 80.
Okay, fair enough. Wow, we got we got a big mix in our chat here. So Plague says 60. Drake Williams says 88. So we're all over the place.
I think this is probably the biggest wild card of the season.
Oh, of this list, 100%. Yes.
Yeah, I have no idea where it could end up.
Yeah. And I played Phantom Blade Zero, right? I talked about that at Summer Game Fest. So I know how that plays. I know how it feels. It was very fun, very strong. Black Myth Wukong looks like that, but how many games have we seen that look amazing to play and then you get your hands on them and it just feels rough? So we'll see.
I also don't know that they did it, and this could just be because they're not based in the West, but I don't know a ton of like people who've played the game, and usually somebody like me has like a much better impression of how a game is going to turn out because I have like friends who are like, oh yeah, I played it, it's okay, or it's not. Like Star Wars Outlaws, I've got a pretty good idea of where that's going to end up because I know people played it, right? But less so about this game. I'm just like, I don't really know.
Yeah, the only good news is the embargo for this is the 16th. So the embargo is 4 days before launch, which, you know, typically maybe new game, publisher, developer, you see the embargo either the day before, right, or the day of. So at least it feels like they have a little confidence in this with the scores and reviews coming out days before launch, which is good. So we'll see what happens. I wish them the best. I hope it's fantastic. So
yeah, more good games is good. We'll agree.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. All right. We've talked about this one as well, but coming right on the heels of the games we just talked about is Star Wars Outlaws. Crazy to think it's almost here. This one is August 30th officially, but like many of the other games we're talking about here, if you buy the Gold, Ultimate, or subscribe to Ubisoft Plus Premium, their subservice, you get this on the 27th. So to be clear about the editions here on this one, it's $70 for your regular edition, and there's a small pre-order bonus, cosmetics. It's $110, at least in US dollars, for the Gold edition. The Gold edition has the early access and the season pass, and the season pass consists of 2 story expansions, an extra cosmetic pack, and an extra exclusive mission at launch, which has to do with Jabba the Hutt, which is kind of dirty. I don't like it, but that's
just like Jabba himself. How fitting.
And then the Ultimate Edition is $130, so $20 more than Gold, and comes with additional cosmetics and a digital art book, which seems like a lot of money for just some more cosmetics and a digital art book, but here we are. So we saw, I've obviously talked about this. I was fortunate enough to get hands-on with it at Summer Game Fest. I really, really liked what I played. We saw previews come out week before last, I believe, from a lot of outlets that had additional time with the game. I know we've talked about this at length. Did the previews do anything else for you guys leading into this game? Are you pretty much in the same place of, I'm excited about this one and it's Star Wars, so I'm all in?
I was excited when you talked about it, Ains. I was excited when they did their show. I got more excited about it when IGN had their first look. I really liked a lot of what they showed there and what the devs were saying about their game. So this is probably the game. I'm looking at this list. I want to say it might be the one I'm most excited about. It's close. It's right up at the top of the list. It might be Astro Bot, to be honest. But Outlaws is very high. And so, yeah, I already have my pre-order in. It's already counting down on my PlayStation. And I'm looking forward to this one a lot. I like Ubisoft games, if you can't tell from my Skull and Bones talk, more than a lot of other people do. And this looks like a Ubisoft Star Wars game. And I think they did a great job with Avatar. I think they've done a really nice job with a lot of the games and licenses that they've taken on over their history. And this should be another one. I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Nice. Nice. You buying the gold or ultimate?
It's pre-ordered right now. It's either gold or ultimate. I don't remember what I got.
Okay. All right. Going in on it.
Enjoy that Java DLC.
In general, for Ubisoft games, I do get that middle tier gold one. Like it's 70 and 110 now. It was 60 and 100 for like the $60 era. And in general, those Ubisoft purchases have given me a lot of good content with their DLC, even though Ubisoft games in general are going to be much, much less expensive very shortly after they release. So I can't recommend actually getting anything on release date from Ubisoft, even though I'm a bad representative of that.
I'm just as bad. I'm buying it at launch. I can't remember if I'm getting regular or gold, but because I get a steelbook. And it's like, that's just what suckers me in. So, yeah. Travis, where are you on this one?
I was told very early on in this game's development that I would not be on any of the coverage of it. And so usually when that happens, I don't look at anything related to it. So I've seen nothing. I've seen one trailer. I believe it was the story trailer. So I've seen that. I've seen her cool hairdo. I did not watch any of the IGN First stuff that we did. I saw the headlines and stuff, but I just didn't participate. So I'm going in pretty blind, which is a thing I rarely get to do. And I'm excited to enjoy this one as a hardcore Star Wars fan who knows almost nothing about it. So very excited.
Awesome. So good shout out. I did mention Ubisoft Plus Premium, which is their subscription service. So that is $17.99 a month, by the way. But you can also subscribe to that on consoles, I believe. I know you can on Xbox. Is Ubisoft on PlayStation? Blah, 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 blah. Yes, you can on PlayStation as well. So, if you're that kind of person that wants to experiment with that, you could buy a month of Ubisoft Plus Premium for $18 and play this game as you get the Ultimate Edition. So you get the Ultimate Edition 3 days early, for a month.
But you're going to be distracted in playing Skull and Bones on your new Ubisoft subscription, folks. You have to take that into account.
You definitely do not have to take that into account. You'll be fine. I think, by the way, Alex is reviewing this one for us, so he'll be in there as well. I'm sure he'll be hitting you up, Hogue, to talk to you about it. But I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for this. Like I said, I liked what I played. It played really well. It was extremely beautiful, which doesn't surprise me given this is massive and, they have a good engine. They have good experience in building these big open worlds. So, I think it's going to be really good. I really do. So give me your open credit guesses for this one.
91.
Whoa. Hot sauce.
Going up there. I'm going to go 87. Which apparently I'm going 4 less than Hogue on every guess. That's not intentional, but that's where I am.
Ains thinks I'm exactly 4 points delirious.
Oh, sorry. Someone corrected me. PlayStation does not have Ubisoft Plus Premium. They only have Ubisoft Classics. So if you want to subscribe to Plus Premium, you got to do that on PC or Xbox. Sorry. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
The multitude of subs gets really weird across the consoles. So.
Yeah, I Googled it really quick, and I must have just misread. So sorry about that.
I'm going to go 85.
85. So far, Hogue is the most optimistic. I'm in the middle.
I told you I'm an optimist.
Yeah. Travis. Okay, there we go.
I don't know. That doesn't sound right.
All right. That's regardless. We all three think that's going to be a very highly regarded game. So.
I think so. Ubisoft is usually pretty solid. Like even their, Assassin's Creed Viking edition, which I wasn't a fan of. I think that was like low 80s.
Valhalla? Yeah, it was because Dan got a lot of crap for giving it a 7.
Yeah, I think it was low 80s, and that was like one of the games I thought was not great. So we'll see. I think it'll be good.
Yeah. All right. All right. So the next one I want to mention, and this is I'm leaning on you guys for this one, is Visions of Mana. So quite literally the same release time too. Like I said, there's a lot of games in this period, but same release time as Star Wars Outlaws. So Vision of Mana launches on August 29th on both Xbox and PlayStation 5. It is $59.99 It does include a sticker pack if you want stickers for some reason, a sticker pack and an in-game cosmetic and like a little bonus item if you pre-order. So I know this is one that I think they said it's the 5th mainline mana game in the series. So you can maybe correct me. I was reading the details this morning, but anyway, I know people are excited for this one. It's pretty cool that we're getting this day and date on Xbox, which I know the Xbox community really, wants to get more of those JRPGs over there. So you are the Mana fan, Hogue. Talk to me.
I do. I love this series. Secret of Mana was one of my favorite games way back in when. But I will say I played the demo of Visions of Mana, and I did not like it. Now, I've also talked in this space about the fact that demos for RPGs, especially ones that have a lot of different systems that don't really line up with other games, are often bad or give bad impressions because they just kind of dump you into these scenarios and then say, hey, look at the world we built, have fun. And Visions of Mana's demo is one of those. So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. But I really did not like certain aspects of this demo, the way it felt to play, the way the characters sounded, the voice acting. And I hope that I like it better when I'm kind of more immersed in the Mana world, because it is different than Final Fantasy. It is different than other things that are out there a little bit more regularly. But I didn't like the demo. And so a game that I was looking forward to is now a game that I'm a little bit more trepidatious about. But I think in general, if you like the Mana games vibe, that's going to be there in this game. So
Gotcha.
Your mileage may vary.
Yeah, Elu, meanwhile, in the chat is saying there's a truly excellent demo out for the game. So just goes to show personal preference. Travis, you into these games?
I am, and I look forward to talking about it more
At another time.
That is a lot of words you spent there. Yeah, so we'll see. Again, that's only it's only a few weeks out as well. Hogue, this is a lot of games you're interested in at the same time. So
I know, right?
I'm very curious to see how you balance this time, because it's going to be very, very hard.
Right now, Visions of Mana is sitting on the outside looking in.
Okay.
That's as I look at this list. Yep.
All right. Well, with that note, then, where's our open critic guess on this one?
78.
78.
I'm gonna go 74.
74.
That's Aiden's number. You can't have that one.
I know it's 4 less than Hogue. Come on, that's mine. I'm going to go higher. I don't know why. I have no reason to believe this is going to launch. I'm going to go 80. Let's go. All right. All right. Now, you know what we can talk about now. The game of the year. Easily the best game that's coming out in the next. I'm not joking at all. I'm dead serious. Well, yes, if that was a game, I would agree with you, of course. But we are talking about Astro Bot launching on September 6th on the PlayStation 5, bringing 3D platformers back to the forefront, which is long overdue. This is $59.99. So again, it's 60, not 70, which is kind of interesting. And it does include cosmetics in the game and some PSN avatars if you pre-order. We have seen, a little bit of this game. They obviously had a very long trailer for it, which showing a whole bunch of the different biomes and activities and everything else. But they also just launched a Astro Bot themed DualSense controller, which sold out extremely quickly.
Couldn't get that one.
Quickly. Yeah. So I think if that is I like to see that, because maybe they just made too few of them. Who knows? But
they launched it early. I mean, I for the time they said they were going to go on the pre-orders, they launched it early. So I was unable to get that controller, and I am resentful of it, PlayStation.
Yeah, so I hope that means that there's a lot of interest in Astro Bot. I know, at least on my timeline and the people that I speak to across the industry, there's a lot of hype for this game. I'm hoping, as I've said before, that not only is the game fantastic, which I truly believe it will be, but that it also kind of brings, like I said, back to the forefront the idea that, hey, we can still have awesome AAA 3D platformers in this industry. There's room for them. Come on, Travis.
Yeah. All right, if you say so.
Travis is the gatekeeper of cool up there at IGN. Hey, Astro Bot's gonna rock.
I've seen
Travis.
so many people try. That's all I'm saying. I've just seen a lot of attempts and a lot of failures.
We
This is
just
not
need
gonna
one.
fail.
To quote Cog, we just need one. It's not what he's referencing with 3D platformers, but I'm going to steal it anyway. All right. Yeah, this is probably my most anticipated game. It's definitely up there in top tier. So I hope it's as good as we think it's going to be. And on that note, where do you think this one's landed?
95.
Jesus.
Hogue is
Believe.
high on that hopium. We love him for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 90.
90.
I'm pretty sure 95 would be the highest rated game in Open Critic history, or like tied with it.
Yeah. Best of luck with that, Hogue.
Yeah, I think 96. I don't know. I know Elden Ring's up there. I know Breath of the Wild's up there.
I think there's a 98, is there not?
There can't be a 98 average, can there?
If there was.
Type it up, Baines.
I'm looking. You can hear me typing. Sorry. Just said, highest game of all time. Oh, Elden Ring was. Hold on. Baldur's Gate 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, Elden Ring are the top 4. And Shadow of the Erd Tree is now in the top as well.
And they are score-wise?
96 is the highest.
Oh, okay, 96.
Yes, 96.
See, so I gave it a little breathing room. I'm not crazy.
But okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Witcher 3. The games you would expect to be at the top are at the top. Hades. Yeah. So I'm gonna go, what'd you say? 95 for Hogue, 90 for Travis. I'm gonna go 89. I don't know if it'll reach that 90, but I hope it does. I obviously hope it does.
I think it probably will.
Yeah. And on the same day, by the way, Travis, you can still be excited because Ace Attorney Investigations launches on September 6th as well.
Now there's your 98. There it is. First 98 of all time. Yeah, I'm very excited about that game. Oh, yeah. Oh, I still
I love Ace Attorney. You've told me to be excited about this one.
I can't believe that those games are finally coming to the West. Like I just assumed it would never happen. And
for our audience, Travis, I know we've talked about that, but if they're tuning in this week, remind us what Ace Attorney Investigations, because that is another franchise that's all over the place. Correct. What does that one consist of?
So Ace Attorney Investigations is a spin-off game that never came to the West, where you play as the prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, who is kind of a antagonist protagonist. He's a frenemy in the Ace Attorney series, and it has only ever existed in fan translations. Actually, that's not true. The first game you could get on the Game Boy Advance, and you can play it on Steam using emulators. But the second one never was translated into English, never made it to the West. I had to play it on a emulator using a fan translation in order to get it. But it is very cool. The remaster looks like they put a lot of effort into it, and I'm going to play the crap out of this game. Also has some of the best writing in the series. But, yeah, I'm very excited for this. Extremely excited.
Fair enough.
He loves his attorneys, folks.
Announce a new game.
All right. And then obviously our cover story, and the reason being is that there were a lot of previews this week for this, a lot of details that were shared. So as we kind of talked based on a super chat earlier, Space Marine 2 is coming out basically the same time as Astro Bot, depending on what you buy. So the official launch day is September 9th. And like the other games we talked about, if you buy the Gold or the Ultimate Edition, comes out September 6th. So actually the same day as Astro Bot if you buy that edition. It is $69.99 for regular, and the editions get kind of weird. So bear with me here just so that you're aware of what's going on. So $70 for your regular edition on all platforms. Then it's $100, $99.99 for Gold. If you buy Gold on console, you get the season pass and early access, so September 6th, but you also get an exclusive Steelbook. If you buy Gold on PC, it's actually $10 cheaper. It's $89.99, but you don't get the Steelbook. So you get the season pass and early access. And then there's also an Ultimate Edition, which is PC only for $100. That gives you additional cosmetics. So,
but not the early access?
You get the same as gold. You get the early access, the season pass, and additional cosmetics for $10 more. But the ultimate is only on PC. Can't get that on PlayStation or Xbox. There is also a collector's edition, but it's long been sold out, so don't bother with that one. Comes with a statue and all that kind of stuff.
Of course it does. A giant space marine for your living quarters.
Yep, killing Tyranid or whatever they're called. Like I said, I'm not the Warhammer guy, but I am very excited for this game because basically the previews and some of the people I follow that have checked this out basically say it plays a lot like old school Gears, which of course excites me. So the campaign is obviously a full single player campaign that's also playable with up to 3 players for the entirety of the campaign. So pretty cool co-op option there. There is also the operations mode, which is like a horde mode, 3-player co-op as well. And it features a massive amount from what the previews say of unlockables and customization. So you can really kind of customize your character both in look, feel, and combat abilities. There are 6 classes, which Googleman referenced earlier, a couple of them, but they are tactical, assault, vanguard, bulwark, sniper, and heavy. And then crossing over with the operations mode is the PvP mode. It's 6v6, and it shares the customization unlockables and all those things with the operations mode. So it feels like one of those kind of almost like 360 or PS3 gen titles where you're getting the package of single player PvE, co-op, and PvP with all the unlockables in the game, which is kind of cool. I like that nowadays. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. There was an 8-minute preview this week directly from the developer, which showed the operations mode for like 4 minutes and PvP mode for 4 minutes. So you can check that out as well. But it looks like a lot of fun. It definitely looks a little old school. I hope, as we were talking earlier, being a focused entertainment game. Getting some feedback, guys. Is anyone else getting feedback, or is that just
it's some mic is blowing up, but I don't know whose.
Can you check yours, Travis? Sorry about that. If we're sorry about that for the pause. But yeah, I think this is the people who have played this are really high on it. They say that kind of the world setting and what's going on the screen is very, very impressive, and that it is very nice to look at, but very fun to play. So I'm hoping that this additional time in development has really helped them kind of deliver here. And I hope, what we've heard, like we mentioned ACG earlier, I know some of the bigger content creators have been high on it, but with some concern. So we'll see how this lands, but it's one game that I'm extremely pumped for. So are you guys into this? You getting it? You playing it? What do you think?
Hell yeah. Play this one. Yeah, it looks cool.
This looks good. The issue I have primarily is that this list is ridiculous, right? I am definitely getting 3 of these games. And so Space Marine 2, I have to be honest with myself about whether or not I'm going to play it in a reasonable amount of time, because otherwise it makes sense in video gaming, as you know, to give it a little lead time to see if that price drop off happens, and then get into whatever game you might be interested in. So the answer to your question, Ains, is that I probably am not a day one buyer of this one, even though I think it looks good and everything that they've shown about it.
Fair enough. What'd you say, Travis? You're definitely in on this?
Yeah, I'm going to play this one. I mean, it looks cool. Like you said, the Gears vibes are real. Although somehow, I mean, the Warhammer universe is even more depressing than the Gears universe. So I'm wondering how deeply they're going to go into that lore there. Who doesn't want to be a Space Marine? It's going to be sweet.
Fair.
I think
Space Marines, I mean, yeah, in world for sure. Their lives are pretty sad. That whole galaxy is very pessimistic. But
what you gonna be in on the PvP? We're gonna squad up?
Hell yeah, dude. Let's do it. Yeah, again, kind of like Hogue, it's gonna be a matter of like time, right? Like especially post Ace Attorney. I mean, who knows what I'll be like? Who knows what
I'll be like?
What drug fueled state I'll wake up in each morning. You know what I mean?
To be clear, we didn't get these warnings about who knows what I'll be like after my wedding, but we are getting them about who knows what I'll be like after Ace Attorney investigations.
I mean, nothing can stop me.
By the way, same day too. If you buy the Gold or Ultimate, we get Astro Bot, Ace Attorney, and Space Marine 2 on September 6th.
Sorry, guys, but Ace Attorney's winning that bout, that specific one.
Yeah.
What a day.
All right. So, game looks great. Previews are glowing. Focus Entertainment game. What you think? Give me your open critic guess.
From Saber Interactive.
78.
From Saber, yes.
76.
78, 76. I'll go 77 because I'm right in the same range. I'll split you
Really?
guys. Yeah, I think high
love
sevens, maybe low eights tops. But that's fine. Like, I'm okay with that as long, like, what I'm really hoping for, right, is that everything works as intended. Meaning when I launch into multiplayer, matchmaking's good, it's smooth, we don't have latency issues, that type of stuff. Like, I want to be able to play that.
I think there's going to be some
PvP.
of that, and I also think
I
that
know.
just as somebody who's reviewed Warhammer games and has looked at the like Metacritic reviews, there's just going to be some people who just like don't get it. They're just going to be like, why are there so many skulls in this universe? I just don't understand it, you know? Just gonna get some low scores there.
By the way, James Berger says it's going to be 100, and he's not biased. So there you go.
Nice.
Trust me, if this game came out and was like a 92, I'd be pumped. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, bring it on. That'd be awesome.
That would be sick. That would be sick.
Higher the
But
better.
I don't think you're not going to expect the same like multiplayer online low latency polish of like a Gears game. I don't think that that's really even remotely possible. But maybe
we'll see. And this is 2 weeks, or 2 weeks after Concord. We'll see how that fares, obviously, too. So, but yeah, I mean, the next couple weeks are going to be crazy. Like I said, some of those embargoes start coming up this week with review scores, which is why we want to talk about them today. But the thing I really like, and there's other games obviously releasing a long time this same stretch, but I think what I really like, if you think about the 6 games we kind of highlighted right now, they're drastically different from one another. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a little bit of everything. So there's just game industry in terms of game deliverables right now is killing it. Obviously, we talked at length about what's going on with studios. But yeah, I'm hugely excited for these next few weeks, and I honestly just got to figure out how I'm going to find the time to play all these games. As usual.
There's so many good indies too, right? Like I don't mention everything I play, even during Hoag's notes. So
yeah. All right, so we'll jump over. Let me catch it up real quick here. We just have one super chat to get to, which Darth Mac has to do it.
Darth_Mac offers $2 to say, "See, Ains, it's not just me. Skull, bone, laugh.
I think that might be Skull and Bones.
I'm going with skull, bone, laugh.
Skull, bone, laugh. Is that the $10 version I'm getting?
Yeah.
Skull, bone, laugh. Oh,
it's
man.
just a message from Eves in the box. It's just laughing.
Yeah. You gave us $10.
I like that he did skull and then 2 bones rather than the skull and crossbones emoji that definitely exists. But, I respect the gamesmanship.
Yeah. It's the B version. Darth Mac, thank you as always. And shout out to our friend Iron Keg, who is Elu's twin brother. Little SG lore in the house for becoming a member on the SG side. Thank you, my friend.
Iron Keg. He became a YouTube member.
You're like
he has done it.
Text-to-speech translation.
He has done this.
Want to touch quickly on Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So this week we got the previews of the zombie mode. So there was a long trailer kind of showing the new zombie mode, but also, the big Call of Duty creators were showing a full kind of match or, certain footage of it. So you can find that out in the world. But a lot of people I know who are kind of into zombies and into Call of Duty specifically are very, very hyped for this. I have never been a big zombies guy in Call of Duty, but from what I've seen, it definitely looks to be scratching that itch that they're hoping for out of the new Call of Duty. And that, of course, includes the new mechanics, which they showed on the summer show at Xbox, where you can kind of run and dive and shoot in all directions, almost like Call of Duty meets Max Payne type thing. It's getting a lot of hype in that world. I don't think, look at us, the 3 of us as big Call of Duty guys. Typically, that would be me, but it is not. So, Hoag, Travis, either of you interested in this one, or is this just another Call of Duty game coming out that you'll look at briefly?
For me, I played these games originally for their campaigns. Those have clearly been kind of deprioritized. They haven't delivered a campaign that I've enjoyed in a long time. So
maybe this one will.
This will come out. I might give it a try. It might say it needs 150 gigs of space or whatever, and I say that's not worth it. But I do tend to like zombies more than I even like some other aspects of the Call of Duty universe. And my interesting story, or I hope it's interesting, that I have on zombies is that when my brother back in the day used to work on Call of Duty at Activision, they would work on zombies modes on occasion and would always be surprised at like the level of investment and discovery that like the Reddit and these teams can put together so fast when they think they've got a good puzzle or something that's going to take a long time to decipher. So I always thought that the zombies community might be the ones that are eventually going to solve cancer in some way or otherwise make a major difference to the human experience because of their ability to decipher patterns and codes and things at a speed that is completely unexpected for even those that are making this for years and years and years.
Yeah, I remember. So I do miss the days of like finding secrets in zombies mode. I don't know if that's been a thing anymore. I haven't really heard much about that, but I definitely played that back in the day. I'm sort of on the Team Hogue of like, I played it for campaigns. I still do, but a lot of the campaigns lately have been not amazing, or not nothing I can really like hang my hat on of like, oh, I'm really glad I paid that. That was like worth the price of entry. Multiplayer, not so much, but I do like zombies. I hope that the zombie mode is good. They seem to be leading with it for their marketing, which either means that the campaign is bad or that they really put a lot of work into zombies. Or maybe a little bit of column A, column B. Yeah, I don't have any particular excitement for this one. I haven't played in a year. And I do think a lot of the people who were like solving all of the codes in zombies probably moved on to Destiny, since that game does a lot of that stuff and has a similar like solve it in 5 minutes community attached to it, which is pretty cool. So I think those players have probably moved on to games that focus more on that stuff, rather than it being like a little feature.
Yeah, I think the reason they are previewing with this is because zombies, like, I think people underestimate, well, maybe people who don't play Call of Duty or know that community, like, underestimate just how big zombies is, like, in that community, as Hogue was pointing out. So we'll see.
When I get lost, but this is original recipe zombies, right? Like, they have some name for this universe of zombies. It's this Treyarch, the ones doing the like the World War II zombies and the time travel, right? Like, this is that.
I believe so. So it's not, Elu's talking about it in the chat here. He was saying, he's happy that the real zombies mode is back. The open world zombies from the last one left a bad taste in some players' mouths. So I think dedicated maps to figure out type thing. Yes. So I guess the short answer, Hogue, is yes. I believe that's true.
Well, it's just because since they were bouncing between developers, like the zombies mode I got the most invested in, I think this was on Infinite, but was Pee Wee Herman and an amusement park. Right, like that's the zombies mode that I did the most of, and that's not kind of the original recipe Treyarch arc of zombies with like mad scientists and World War II and all of that. So I think people are excited about doing some more of that, but I could be wrong. I am well outside my base knowledge area on this.
No, that one was Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, I believe, which is the last one I played and really liked as well. So yeah, I think, and Elu says, zombie modes are so good. I don't think some people realize how deep those modes go. It's like a crazy escape room to solve, and I love it. And I think that's what they're getting back to with Black Ops 6. So I think that's why they're leading it from a promotional side, because it's to get people hyped that experience is back in this one. So yeah. On the Black Ops 6 side, so interesting comment here, and I know we've talked about this. I have most channels, of course, because the big news a couple months ago with Summer Game Fest and the Xbox Showcase was, of course, that Black Ops 6 in full was going to launch on Game Pass, which we talked about what that's going to look like and potentially do for the service. So Strauss Zelnick, who is the Take-Two CEO, was asked about that this week. And his quote curated here was he believes that it will boost Game Pass subs at least for some time, but that his opinion on launching like 2K's titles in Game Pass hasn't changed, or AAA titles. So I don't think he's obviously alone in that thought. I know that's been discussed a lot around what that looks like, and we'll see what the data eventually says that Xbox shares, or that they willingly share, later this year or early into the next year. But we'll see. So I don't know if you had any commentary about that. I can see the hesitancy, and like I said, we've talked about that, about releasing a game as big as Call of Duty. But as I believe I said, you've got to go all in. If Game Pass is where your focus is, you got to go all in, and we'll see what it does. So
well, and certainly Microsoft understands that line of logic, because in general, that's where the math is going to lead you, is that it doesn't make sense for, you said AAA, Ains, but Mr. Zelnick is not just talking about AAA. He's talking about the king of AAA, right? He's talking about Grand Theft Auto.
Of course.
And whether or not that makes sense. And obviously it doesn't, based on what we have seen so far. And markets change, and it might in the future. But as it stands right now, Rockstar Games are not going to make more money with any conceivable kind of payday from putting them on a subscription service compared to what they would make over the long tail, because that's just what Grand Theft Auto is in the game industry right now. But that's why Microsoft bought Activision, right? Because those contracts in and of themselves are too expensive. And when you get to a high enough level of the contract cost, you might as well buy the company. So that's how this arrived. But it's not a surprise to me that people that have other very highly valued intellectual property in video games say, nope. If we aren't making the subscription cost, there's not a big enough stack of money that you can give us to justify us giving it away for free for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. Well, and I think, in that space, Grand Theft Auto 6 will be is the definition of a game that does not need any help from anyone or anywhere to sell a ridiculous amount of copies. We've talked about that at length too. Speaking of which, let's not forget that they've said Grand Theft Auto 6 is launching next year, which I know we laughed about when we saw the first trailer a few months back. But yeah, we'll see. Looks like we took care of the hum. Sorry about the mic issues, guys. Anyone listening? So we took care of that. It sounds, at least on our end, like that's gone now. So let us know.
How's my voice though? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yep.
Sweet.
Yep. Don't know what happened there, but that's okay. I wanted to quickly shout this out. I don't know if anyone else has seen this, but I'm going to check this out now that I'm home. Is that the classic Doom collection, Doom 1, Doom 2, with expansions and everything, launched on Game Pass, and also, I guess, for purchase on other platforms, but with actual PvP intact? Like, you can play 16-player PvP in classic Doom. And if that's true, which is what I read, dude, I'm jumping on that later today. I can't wait.
I bought it on the Switch and was playing Doom 1 on the Switch one of these nights.
Okay.
The Switch can play Doom.
I couldn't play it on Xbox immediately because
it's lower resolution, but it manages it.
It probably is a little slower frame rate resolution.
No, it's fine. Guys, it's an old game. It runs great.
Yeah, Doom is an older game. Yeah. The Switch runs Doom 3, but not great.
Fair.
Remember when that game came out, how demanding that was, Doom 3?
I love Doom 3. It's not much of a Doom game. Yeah, I love Doom 3.
I'm the same way as Hogue. I love Doom 3. I just don't look at it as a Doom game. Like, it's very
not much
different.
of a Doom game, but it's got a really good atmosphere and a lot of good exploration and storytelling.
That's the one where one person's holding a flashlight and the other person's got the gun. You got to choose if you're by yourself.
Well, I've only ever played it as single player, but
yes,
you have to put the flashlight down.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not two. It's like not two people. If that's what.
No, it is two people. You can play it two people. I played that game two people where I had one person with a flashlight, another person with the gun. I mean, that game is multiplayer.
When that game came out, the darkness and the flashlight effect was so cool. Like I love Doom 3 for just that.
Yep. Yeah, it was a tech showcase basically.
Yeah, that it was.
Yeah. Anyway, we got a super chat. Yeah, super chat from Debbie W.
Debbie Dubs offers $16 to write $1 for each year married to my sweetheart.
Woohoo.
Congratulations, Travis. I wish you and Dee all the best and many happy years. On a game note, WoW's next expansion launches in a week and a half.
That too.
Thank
like
you,
I said,
Debbie.
Yeah.
I will also give Season Gaming $1 for every year I have been married to my sweetheart.
$0.
That's right.
I think 2024 should count. I expect that dollar.
No.
It's like
Well,
the
no,
IRS
because-
math.
See, this is the loophole. As soon as I reach 1 year and you ask for money, I'll be like, she's not my sweetheart. Boom. Roasted.
D.
Yay!
Which, by the way, I can confirm D is real. She's a real person. Yep.
She
Travis
is.
wasn't lying this whole time.
Pretty good looking too, right? Like way
She-
better than me.
Yeah.
Is there a
D-
section of the review of the wedding that reviews the match, Ains?
Yeah.
Travis out hit. That's for sure. Yeah,
I for sure did. Yeah, I for sure
Yes,
did.
he did. Yeah.
I used psychological manipulation mostly.
Debbie, thank you as always for the support. And yes, like we said, there's so much more releasing. So we will have coverage of WoW's expansion, like I said, in a week and a half as well. So
Let me guess. Esposito's on that.
either Steve or Eric. Probably Steve, because I think Eric's doing Concord. Yes.
Of course, it's Steve.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking
Yeah.
of Blizzard,
Steve plays WoW.
What a
Blizzard, I didn't mention it in my time, but Diablo has engaged a new season, and they have their wave-based hell now, and it's excellent. I have not played it very far because I decided to try to run with a hardcore player, and I got to level 14 and died. So that's my
Nice.
story.
Yeah, I don't.
Why did you do that to yourself? That is not.
I
the
don't view you as a hardcore player. Like, yeah, that's.
I just
I
wanted to
view
give it a shot.
I view you as a casual gamer girl.
He said he got to level 14.
Sells her bathwater. That's
The
what
thing
I
of
do.
it
boy.
is like I
That's
was
good.
really enjoying myself. I like that tension, but the way Diablo is organized, I don't like that you have to kind of guess that you can handle a boss, and then you're just stuck there. Like I knew as soon as I got in there, it's like this isn't going to work out. But you don't have any option there. You just have to take it in the head, and so the hardcore playthrough for Diablo for me winds up being like this super risk averse. I need to be 10 levels higher than I think I need to be
Yeah.
to even try it. And I don't love that.
Yeah, that's pretty typical, though. By the way, so I want to leave this up just to say thank you to WW. You took a hard left turn there, Hogue. So thank you for the super chat. And by the way, Destin's here and says that D is a paid actress. Travis.
Yeah.
So,
I
Yeah,
thought he was
that's
saying that
fair.
about
I mean,
me. So, okay.
She does have a joke where when we meet somebody for the first time, she pretends to not speak English and acts like she is mail order, and she sees how long she can keep that up, and it's very funny to everyone except me. It's not that funny to me. But yeah, she's super good at it. She speaks with like a broken English accent, or broken. She speaks in broken English. And she tries to give off the impression that she was purchased.
nice.
Yeah,
I
Good.
would have
joke.
believed that. I would have believed that.
Great.
Yeah, she's very good at it. Destin says the wedding was wonderful. She fooled us all. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Don Lionheart in the house.
Don Lionheart gives us $5 and saith, "Good morning, cast." I'm sorry, I don't think I'm getting the affect right. Can we try that again? Take two.
Take two.
Good morning, cast. Travis playing Switch immediately after his wedding is on point for Travis. Sideways laughing face. Congratulations on the wedding. Keep on keeping on.
He started off as goofy, then went to a kind of flat affect, and then surprised himself with the congratulations on his wedding. It was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that was
Great
three
stuff.
different accents. Good stuff. Don, thank you as always. Appreciate you. All right. Let me make sure we're caught up. Yep, we're caught up. All right. So I think we'll probably start to wrap up. The only thing I wanted to mention is the Borderlands movie is out, guys. Have you seen it yet? When are you seeing it? Do you have tickets?
I saw a clip of a Jack Black claptrap talking on the street, and that was enough of closeness for me with this Borderlands movie experience.
Oh boy, yeah, it's not looking good. It wasn't looking good from the start, but the reviews came in, and last time I looked, anyway,
It had a 0 for a while. Which
it had a
really
0.
funny.
I don't know if it
Yeah.
still does.
It has
IGN
11,
gave it
I
a
think.
11. Okay, IGN gave it a 3, and the quote
yeah.
they used on the tweet is Borderlands is an abysmal waste of a beloved franchise that takes a kooky band of murderous misfits and drains the life out of their first adventure together.
Heck, I think beloved franchise is probably too strong, but you can still capture
Okay,
some
calm
of what
down.
you like out of Borderlands.
I beloved.
Oh, wait, that was the rewritten tweet from IGN. The original's better. Borderlands is a catastrophic disappointment that plays like a hack-to-pieces studio slop, betraying everything fans adore about Gearbox Software's franchise in derivative, regrettable taste.
Nice.
Yeah. So
great. So what did they rewrite it because they
they're both are up. I think they're just sharing the review multiple times as you guys do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good times.
You just take one sentence and you tweet it out. You get to use the whole article a lot of times that way.
It's pretty good. Smart.
It's true.
I'm gonna start writing my reviews one sentence at a time.
I'm not saying I haven't enjoyed Borderlands, fellas. I just think beloved is a bit strong for the Borderlands franchise.
It's beloved.
I love it. Yeah.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
What aspects of the Borderlands universe do you beloved?
Do I beloved? Running, gunning, looting.
Yeah, looting. The
Borderlands 2 actually has a surprisingly good story.
It does. It really does. How about the characters? I love so many characters in Borderlands.
Yeah, there's good characters. They went off. Sorry, yeah, they went off track with the writing in 3. I think most of us agree with that.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens with the next one.
Actually, it kind of started with the pre-sequel, to be honest. But I mean, even you can play Telltale Borderlands is real good.
Tales from Borderlands, yeah. Also,
I think if you have a Telltale game, you get to count as a beloved franchise. If Telltale is using your IP for their licensed games,
Walking Dead, you got Expanse, you got Wolf Among Us.
Those are all beloved.
Yeah. Anyway, the movie has landed. It's supposedly.
I will be watching it.
I'm going to watch it when it's free.
I'm going to watch it only if I can find a Medieval Times that is showing it. I want to watch it at a Medieval Times restaurant.
We didn't do that, by the way, but that's okay.
As a true Randy Pitchford fashion, I will be doing that.
Yeah,
if possible.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right.
I hope somebody gets that joke.
On that depressing note,
I do.
Hogue unfortunately gets that reference.
Yeah, I wish I didn't get it.
I wish I didn't. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, boys. That's going to do us for this week. As I said, stay tuned for Travis's wedding review. We'll see how he does.
Excited.
I'm retweeting it, Ains. Just put it out there.
Oh, it's going to be out there, full title card and everything. We'll get it done. Other than that, on the SG side of the house, I've got a couple things going up on video this week as well. I actually came home to like a 7-foot tall box for the Dark Moon Greatsword replica that I ordered that will be up on the wall soon. So we'll see what that looks like. But other than that, like I said, we'll have a lot of reviews coming up as well for all the games we discussed. There's a lot of people working on things for the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. But I will hand it to Hogue first this week. What you got?
Sure. I got nothing, Ains. I, like the previous couple weeks, have been unable to get my schedule and various post-stroke afflictions to line up in a way that lets me make a video for people. And I want folks to know, especially the ones that are watching on my channel, that I really want to make more content, but it's proven to be a difficult thing to get to work. So I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep going at it. But I cannot promise that there will be a video this week, even though I hope that there will be.
Sorry, I was typing to someone. Apologies. Yeah. Travis, hit us.
Yeah. Similarly, I was getting married this week, and then I hung out with Ains. Maybe I'll do a review of hanging out with Ains in San Francisco. Maybe that'll be what I review.
Can you do it as a response to your wedding review?
Yeah, in response, my rebuttal will be a review of him hanging out with him.
Review of Ains.
That was cool, man.
That's not going to be good.
There were
No.
there were a whole bunch of people there. We got to hang out with Cog and some IGN folk, and it was fun. It was fun seeing all my friends in the same place, except for Ibantas, who got COVID and had to cancel, which is unfortunate.
And I've never met him either, which sucks.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was going to be my second time meeting him. It's so funny seeing him like tweet and Discord. He had so much FOMO staying at home that whole time, but yeah, it was cool. But yeah, I've been busy with that. So this week I'm going to get back on the gaming wagon. I've already started playing some games, but I'm going to actually start writing some stuff. But I think the next big thing y'all will see is my Concord review, which is it's still a while out, 9 days until Concord comes out, and there are not early copies for anybody wondering because they're waiting for the servers to go live. So
yep,
that'll be a review in progress type thing. But you can see my beta impressions online.
Well, I'm happy to play with you, Travis.
Let's do it, Hogue.
Yeah, we're gonna have a crew. We got us, we got Alex, we got Joe, we got Eric. So we'll have a squad for sure. Yeah,
that's gonna be fun. That game is definitely better with a crew for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think Jabali and Itzy are my primaries right now.
I don't even know their names.
So
yeah, I like the lady who shoots fire and chews bubblegum.
Hamar.
Yeah, Hamar. Got it.
Is she the one with the crossbow?
Yes, Hamar has a crossbow.
Oh, that's my girl too. She was my favorite.
She rules. She rules.
I couldn't get those firewalls to go where I wanted them to. So
once you get them down, they're awesome. Yeah.
Ains, how's your body feeling?
What did you guys do this last week?
Well, I documented Ains, who prides himself on eating healthy.
Oh,
I documented his descent into complete shame.
Throughout
the week as he ate increasingly worse foods for himself, which I think culminated in, was it the sourdough bread bowl? Was that your low point, or was it the ice cream at the ball game?
No, it was definitely the brisket sandwich followed by a double scoop of ice cream, waffle cone. Yeah,
that was pretty horrifying. It was good, and that was after he ate a cheeseburger for lunch.
This is all true, true. It was bad. It was bad. Wife and I joked, I had back to my normal breakfast this morning, so I got some work to do these next couple of weeks.
What'd you eat? What was your rebound?
This morning was some Magic Spoon cereal, which I like. It's a ripoff, but it's good. And we'll see what I do the rest of the day. But yeah, I got to get back to high protein, low fat type stuff.
Good,
so
good man. I'm glad to hear it. There was definitely a hangover.
The burger was worth it though. That was a cool shop.
That burger was sick. Yeah, that was really good. That was D&I's first time there too. We had some good food here.
Good. Yeah, good Thai. I tried to do Indian, but it
was weird. She didn't want to embrace her. I got to meet his wife, by the way, who also I can confirm is real.
It was real.
Nice lady. Super nice lady. She and Dee got along. It's good times.
Yes, very quiet. Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So chat, you've been awesome. Thank you. Audio listeners, thank you as always. The audio listener count continues to go up, which is great. So if you're tuned into us on the audio side, thank you so much. Hope our interruptions and the way we're reading things isn't too disruptive for you on the audio side. But have a good week. Enjoy the games. We'll be back next week, of course, with new games to talk about. And we will see you then. Peace.